I'd begun hearing stories about people I knew or people who knew, people I knew who knew others. A whole world of these interpreters had either gone underground or was trying to flee the country, or they were actually getting killed because they had the biggest target on them, and they were the most defenseless people in Iraq. They did not have a militia of their own. Right. The Iraqi security forces didn't like them, and we were...
Because they'd had a higher status in the conflict because they were with the Americans even more so.
They were not trusted, and it showed the incredible depth of mistrust. The Iraqis who were there to facilitate the indispensable dialogue between Americans and Iraqis were considered the most dangerous and untrustworthy people in Iraq. And so they were getting killed. They were being chased out of the country, and we were just washing our hands of it. The official bureaucracy, it was of a piece with everything else in that war. At the higher levels, there was a what? Interpreters? Well, they've done a service for us, and we thank them for it. And if they find they can't live in Iraq, then we don't insist that they continue to work for us. That was it. So I went and found them. It was very hard to find them. It was the rock bottom of January 2007. It was a really scary time.
Now, you were going around on your own, too. You were going in the back streets to find people in their homes, essentially, right?
If they would let me. But by that time, making arrangements was really hard. That had been the way I always worked in Iraq, but by 2007, you had to really go through elaborate preparations like, okay, I'll meet you in the lobby of this hotel, but then we're going to go up to the 11th floor and take a room, because I don't want the desk clerk to see us, because I don't know who the desk clerk is. No one could trust anyone. So we would go up I spent like 2 days in a room in the Palestine Hotel talking to a couple of Iraqis. Another guy who was from Najaf said, I'll meet you at the Baghdad airport and we'll get on flight so-and-so to Erbil, Kurdistan. And we'll talk in Kurdistan, but we're not talking anywhere in Iraq, including...
That is elaborate.
Yeah, and it went on. And then some people, they were gonna meet me, and then something happened in their neighborhood and they couldn't get to me, because that was the period of the worst stage of the Civil War. So as if I needed any more proof of what kind of danger these guys were in, and women, just having the interviews sort of showed it. So I came home with maybe 24 stories. And what I did was had each of them take me through the whole experience of the war as they had lived it. I didn't just want what's happening now, because I felt this class of people, English-speaking young Iraqis, most of them had nothing to do with journalism before or with the military before the invasion. They were doctors, they were engineers, they were students. They all were seizing something by going to work for the Americans. To them, this was hope.